Merry Christmas everyone from 4 Spoons. Today I will be teaching you how to make a gluten-free, dairy-free version of Jamie Oliver's Yorkshire pudding recipe. They're incredible and they just taste wonderful. How many of you out there with celiac disease, gluten intolerance, or dairy allergy have sat through way too many family dinners watching the glorious Yorkshire pudding pass you by? But not this year. This year is the year for you. It's the year of the gluten-free Yorkshire pudding. Our first step is to take our muffin tin pan and fill it with some oil. Each tin needs to have about 1 centimeter, 1/4 of an inch of oil. Now this recipe will make a dozen smallish Yorkshire puddings or 9 big fat ones, so I'm gonna make 9 big fat ones. And I start by pouring oil into the first 3 tins, and it's going to be about 3/4 of the way full, not quite all the way to the top. And then I lift it up and see how the oil pours into the adjacent tins. This is Jamie's awesome technique, so I'll be filling up 9 here. Now the pan goes into the oven, hot oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit or about 200 degrees Celsius. I've placed my muffin tins onto another pan so that if the oil spills over, it's caught, and then it'll help me to transfer in and out of the oven and not get burnt with this crazy hot oil. So the oil needs to get nice and hot before we throw in our batter. All right, for the batter, we need a big fat bowl so that we can whisk up 4 eggs. Next we need 200 milliliters or about 1 cup of a milk alternative. This is almond milk. All right, now for the flour, we will be replacing the 200 grams of wheat flour in Jamie's recipe with a combination of brown rice flour and tapioca flour. Now, the brown rice flour, we will only need about 3/4 of a cup, which will be 115 grams. I'll measure that out. Ooh, almost. There we go. And then we'll be using a little dash of tapioca flour. Now the tapioca flour helps to give a bit of a chewiness. The brown rice flour is very dry and it needs that combination to work. So we'll do 1/2 cup, and that'll be 60 grams of the tapioca starch, tapioca flour. That's all we need. So to this we'll need a little bit of salt. Ooh. About just a pinch, about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we also need something called xanthan gum. Now, lots of people are like, what the heck is xanthan gum? Well, it is a gluten kind of replacer. It helps to mimic the gluten in the dough. It's a thickener. So it's really important for the recipe, otherwise everything is just too runny. That'll be a teaspoon. I'm adding a tablespoon of sugar to help the Yorkshire puddings brown. Now I'm whisking this up and tossing it into my egg mixture and whisking until there are no lumps. I've transferred my batter to a nice jug that will make it easier to pour. I'll be pouring the batter into my smoking hot oil in those pans that I'll be pulling out of the oven. I'll be using a spoon to catch any drips. Ta-da! Look at how puffy they are. So these went into a 400 degree oven for close to 40 minutes. Now that was a convection oven, so if you don't have convection, they'll need to go in longer, but just until they're puffy and lovely and golden.